on everybody, welcome back to Simulation for the Nation and welcome back to the West Coast where we are burning the midnight oil. It is, turn my lights down a bit, it is a little before midnight. Let's have a look, see here, yeah, we're 11:30. We're still pushing on. We're due for some pretty nasty weather tomorrow, so I'm trying to clear the fields that we've recently cut down and baled of spring barley. We're trying to get that all cleared up tonight. Otherwise those bales will start to be spoilt over the course of the next few days as the rains come in. So we wrapped up harvesting about 2 hours ago. It just got too damp. Fortunately, Jamie and the baler was able to get right up behind the combine, so everything's been baled that was on the ground. Now all we need to do is try and clear as much of this out as possible. So I've taken a couple of loads up to the straw facility there. I might run one more. I might just get a few loads and take them down to River Rock where it's nice and close, and then we can worry about transporting them tomorrow when the weather's not as good and we perhaps can't get on in the field. As you can see, I'm in the little Arion, the 630 class that we're leasing at the moment for the summer, or for the season. It's not a bad little tractor as it goes, quite nippy on the road. David, who's the new guy who was driving it, he's gone home, but he did say that it was getting bogged down a little bit on the road with a full ton of, I mean granted it was 16 ton of barley in the back of it, so many tractors get bogged down on the hills there, but other than that it's been a good little machine to date. Let's go over that. And yeah, it's helping us out no end. At the moment we've been all hands to the pumps really. We've had David leading corn and carting bales where possible. And then I've had Jamie's done split work really. He started baling straw, I think he baled just under 100 bales of barley straw, which is good. And then he jumped on to the Massey was struggling a little bit with Vader start drilling some of the hills, so we hooked the baler off at River Rock and then Jamie jumped onto the drill, so he's got another little bit of oilseed rape drilled this afternoon. And then into the evening, which has been good news. So we've just got one field left which has the headlands to do up at that's the top field that we drilled with cover crop actually. So that's almost all done. Jesse was out in the John Deere also with a driller. We pulled the old conventional drill out the shed. She's been not too far away from me actually. She's been over the other side of those fields there, the new land we recently acquired. She's been drilling spring barley and one field of oilseed rape actually. She's done the rape there, so she'll be jumping onto the spring barley tomorrow, all being well. So yeah, we're making some progress. We're trying to get as much done as we can right now because like I say, we just don't know what the weather's going to hold out and do tomorrow. The combine's been taken back to the yard. I took that back before there, so that only the header's left in that field now. I just don't like leaving the combine out near the roads too much. But we're going to jump back into here. Let's get some more bales caught up here. There we go. Now all we've got to do is hunt down these bales. They're in here somewhere. As you can see, it is pitch black this evening. It's really starting to get a bit damp outside as well, and I know that there's some bad weather coming in tomorrow. I just don't know when it's supposed to arrive. Oh, there's a bale. Let's go this way. Do that one first. So yeah, rather than wait, leave these bales on. If it rains as much as perhaps it's scheduled to do, we won't be able to get in the fields to get these moved. So I'd much rather have these cleared out now, and then we can continue with off-field work perhaps tomorrow. We are still behind, relatively speaking. We do have a lot of cereal in the ground still that we need to pull out. Unfortunately, we've done as much as we can really for right now, so we need to see what the weather's going to do and how it's going to pan out tomorrow. I still got a lot of second cut hay I'm desperate to try and make as well, but I'm not sure how or when we'll be able to do that in all honesty, but we'll see. Maybe the weather will brighten up and not be quite as bad as it's currently plotted out to be. There's another one. 2, 3 here as well. So how you all doing? Hope you're all very well. Whatever you're getting up to, I hope you're enjoying it and you're having a little bit better luck and slightly less stressful time than I am at the moment. Who said farming was ever easy? It's been great though to have this little tractor. We'll be keeping this for quite a while. It's really helping out with this, all the smaller jobs here that would otherwise tie up one of the larger tractors at the moment. I think I might even have to rope my dad in tomorrow because we're going to have to get some extra ground worked, and he can come and just sit on the, probably on the Massey I think, and just run the cultivator. We need to start preparing some of the ground that we've cut down from canola already and put that into, that's going to go into spring barley. Yeah. What I do need to do is sit down and work out some, what am I stuck on here? I do need to figure out my crop schedule. Field management plan, so we need to do some office work. If it's going to be pretty dull work tomorrow, then we'll definitely jump on to do that, I think. How many have we got on there? We've got 8 there at the moment. So all we've got left to pick up, we've got these few bales in this field, and then we've got the headlands from the field over the road, which is as far as we got with the combine. So we need to swing across, we'll get those picked up as well before too long. Let's have a look up here, make sure. It's difficult to go bale chasing at night. There's 2 more there. The last thing I want to do is leave any on the ground. Okay. Is there any more up here? Oh, it's looking like we've got them all from this top corner. It's quite a good time of the night to do this when you're on the roads actually, because there's very little traffic, so we're spending a lot of time travelling from here to the straw facility, dropping all of these bales off, so it has its pros and cons really. Oh, there we go, and that's our full load, so we can pull that in. Perfect. What I might do with this load is take this one down to the yard actually. I don't think we have the need to run this one all the way back, we might just call that day. We've got about a dozen, not quite a dozen I don't think, left in the other field though, so we do need to get those picked up. So what we'll do, we'll run these ones to the yard, we'll drop these off at the yard and they can stay there for now. And then we'll just come back over and pick up these other 2. So we'll just hop through the little hole in the fence we made up here. I'm going to have a little bit of a check to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, so we're going to head into this corner. There's a little gate here that can take us through to the through a little field actually, a little paddock behind the farm, and then we'll just drop this load off there. Should save us a little bit of time. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this load off into the yard here, and then we're going to come back quickly and pick up another one. I don't think you need to stay around to see this though, so I'll just get this wrapped up, and then I'll come back to you tomorrow morning when it's bright and sunny, and we'll get this all finished up. We'll see. We'll probably just have a look, see how all the drilling's going, and see where we stand with that, and see what we can get pushed on with. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the West Coast. A nice early, somewhat crisp start to the morning. It's really starting to get that autumnal feel in the air. It's a little bit colder than we'd perhaps like, but it's not raining yet. We're actually on the way back over to the River Rock farm to feed the sheep this morning. So we need to get those cleaned up, get them fed and watered, and then we're gonna assess the state of play really from there. Ideally, I'm not sure when this rain's supposed to hit us. If it's gonna hold off, ideally I'd like to go and try and finish what we started yesterday with the spring barley. Realistically, I don't see that's going to be at all possible. Blue skies at the moment though, however, could mean that I'm wrong, and we'd like to see certainly if that is the case. But yeah, we're going to head on over to the sheep farm anyway. We'll get those guys fed up and go look after the animals first and foremost. And then yeah, the guys will be coming in to finish off the drilling. They started last night, and then again, as weather permitting, they've both got a bit of ground to work on, so they'll keep going. Jesse's got plenty to work on over there, that's for sure. And Jamie is the same. Jamie's got several fields of oilseed rape he can get drilled today as well, so we will see. Lots to get going with, that's for certain. We did clear all the straw up at the end of play last night. I've got a load I can take back over to the back on the bale chasers still, that I'll probably take over to the farm, to the straw facility at least, and get that under wraps there as well. It'd be nice to know that that's all safely under cover. But yeah, at the moment there we are just playing a kind of a gamble really with the weather. What we might do is just go and push on with the barley. If it's still looking mild and relatively dry by about 9 o'clock this morning, that's what we might go and have a look at. As you can see, the combine was just brought in here to be kept out of the way of prying eyes on near the roadside there. But we're going to just get this all cleaned up here first. I don't know how they manage to get quite so messy everywhere, but that's what they do. Stuff. I got the bale spike on one of these sheds as well. We'll just hook that on, and then we'll just drop a couple of bales into these guys, keep them going for a little while. I can remember, I think I did go on the other end of this barn actually. So these bales here, these are the ones we're currently using for my own stock. The bales that we have tucked into the shed here, these ones are being used for, or we're going to keep these and sell these ones on. So all these are going to be sold at some point. And we're hoping, as I've alluded to previously, we've got a lot of land around here that I'd still like to get a second cut off. If I can, then that would be ideal, and we will look to get that done. But it's looking unlikely at the moment due to the weather. Unfortunately, it's going to be a very tight schedule to try and get that cut. But never say never. Okay, so we'll usually just drop 2 or 3 bales off of hay into the shed here. There's plenty for the sheep to work on. And we've still got a little bit left in the trough there, as you can see. Oh, it just fell off the end of my spike. Let's try that again. certainly is. As you look around there, it's starting to look very crisp. It's taking a little bit later in the day for sunrise to roll around. We're slowly being affected by that. And as I mentioned there, it's just a little bit cooler today. It's noticeable in the air. That's, I think it's only 7 degrees outside anyway, but you can definitely feel that change at the moment. Okay, so we'll just drop this one in and then we'll check on the water levels as well. Oh, and that one's fallen off the spike. I should really use the grab, but I didn't hook up the hydraulics, so it won't be working. Just do then. We'll just leave this one here. Okay, perfect. Drop that down. What I might do as well, we'll use the class for now. We'll just unhook this and we're going to just fill up or use the water bowser just to give the sheep a little bit more water. It's been a nice little tractor for the first couple of days we've had it. I'm very impressed with it. Bounced around the fields last night, hauling straw in effortlessly, really. It's nice to have something that a little bit smaller as well that we can use for smaller tasks rather than having to bring out a 300 horsepower fence to do it. Okay, got a little bit left in here. We'll get rid of this water first. There's not a lot. There is, however, a hydrant just around the far side that we can definitely use. Build this up now anyway. Oh, I've left my lights on. I'm forever leaving my lights on that telehandler. The battery in there must hate me. So we're filling up here nicely, although it's attacking my budget. We're doing very well at the moment financially. We've sold quite a bit of grain, which is a big contributing factor to that bump in revenue. Oh, wrong one, there we go. We will look to be selling some more. Obviously, we've only just begun our harvest really, so there should be a lot more coming in. The straw pellet facility is making a good income at the moment, although it's kind of ceased because all of our attention right now is turned to actually producing the straw that we need to begin with. However, that will change again in the next couple of weeks when we can really focus back in on production. We were able to produce a bit of a supply really to keep us going, so we've done that. We've been lucky enough to do that, and so that has kept our distributor happy for a short while at least. Okay. So we'll just leave that to empty. At the moment, as it stands here, we have all these fields around the yard in which to cut for hay, ideally. I have no idea when we'll get around to doing this, hopefully sooner rather than later, but it's a task that we're going to have to get onto at some stage. Nice, actually a very good thick crop there that we must try and attack at some stage soon. So we need to figure that one out for sure. However, I think we'll just switch off the lights in the class, and then I am going to wait for the guys to come in, see how they're doing. Lights off. And then, weather permitting, we might go and take another stab at some spring barley, see if we can. But yeah, we'll come back to you once we know what we're doing and we have a bit of a plan of attack. Well, we've brought the Rainmaker out, everybody. Usually what happens, what tends to happen with me is as soon as I bring the Combine back out to play, the grey clouds come over and any possible progress is pretty quickly halted. So we'll see. We'll see how this comes along, but we left the header here overnight. Just left it on the trailer. Main reason for that is previous years when I haven't left it on the trailer, I've left it on the floor or left it on the Combine and someone's come in and nicked the wheels off the trailer. So this is always something, a lesson learned, let's say. Let me get into position here. There we go. Lovely stuff. So what we'll do, we'll just get ourselves out of here. And we'll go and get everything hooked up. Once I just get my ladders unfolded. There we go. Alright, so, no real time like the present. As you can see, we appear to have some, well, we appear to have some kind looking skies above us, but we'll see how long that lasts for. So we took the headlands off here last night. There's not a great deal left to take after that, truth be told. We'll get the rest of this all pulled up now, I should think. Oh, where's David gone? He was following me. What I do need to do is get this all set up and working. Let me see here. Alright then. Well, we'll start without him. He can always come catch us back up. Right now, this is the little test we had that came up in the truck before. It's coming in a bit damp. It is about 17%. We're going to cart this over anyway to, we're going to take it over to our own stores, I think, and just keep it there for now. I just want to get this cut. This is the last bit we have this currently ripe in this block, and if we leave it here, if we don't try and take it today and we leave it for too much longer, we'll never be able to get it finished. What was the weather coming in, it'll only spoil it, and I really need to start turning our attention to land on the other side of Little Woolhope. So, all being well, we'll get this all wrapped up within the next few hours, really. As long as the weather holds, we should be able to get something positive out of this. You never can tell. At the moment, like I say, it's nice blue skies. It's looking not promising, but we know being on the coast, that can change quite quickly there as the mist and the clouds roll in with the tides. So we'll wait and see how it comes. But yeah, we'll get cracking and we'll see what comes along here. In the meantime though, it's still a very thick crop here. I was very impressed with how the headlands came off last night. Looking for much of the same as we get into the middle of the crop there, I have to say. Just loop it around here. This will be one of the crops, one of the fields that goes into some winter oilseed rape, so it would be nice to get this finished sooner rather than later. But of course, that's all weather permitting as well. Ideally, I'd like to see all of my oilseed rape drilled in the ground before the beginning of September. So we're already a little behind the times there, but that's primarily down to the fact that we didn't have much land open for us to start drilling on. So we'll see on that front. We'll have to wait and see. All we can do now is try and work as a team collectively to get as much covered as soon as possible, and then we'll regather after that and see how we're looking. But right now we're doing about as much as we can. As you can see, it's relatively thick. It's coming in as a good crop here. That's 25% of the tank already, and that's from 1 and a bit lengths. So we should get another no, what we're looking at about another 20 ton or so off this field at least, which I'll be happy with. But as for now, we can only just keep our fingers crossed really. The sun is still out, so I'm not sure when this foul weather's coming, but we will take our chances with it, everybody, and we're going to keep pushing away. So for now, I'm just going to keep cracking on, and then we'll come back and we'll give you an update later on when we get a little bit further down the line and we know what's going on a bit more. So stay tuned and we'll catch up with you in a little while. Right then, folks, we are pushing on and we've nearly finished. It's a little after 1:30 in the afternoon and somehow it is still yet to rain. And as you can see here, we're just finished up the final touches of this field. Jamie has brought the baler into the field. He's going to wait for us to clear out, and then we'll get this baled up, and hopefully I'm going to move the combine over to Little Will Hope, and David's going to jump on with the baler chaser, try and get these bales cleared as well as quickly as possible, because it's getting a little bit dark on over the hills there, as you can see, a little bit murky and misty, so no doubt the weather is coming, so we need to look out for that. What I would say is, there is a shining example here of why you don't go bale chasing at night when you can't really see, because there are 3 bales that I can see from here on the hillside over there, just behind that wing mirror. You can see one of them coming into view. There's 2, and then the third one's a little bit further up the brow of the hill. So we're going to have to get those ones as well, but never mind, at least we can spot those mistakes now, I suppose. But yeah, very happy to have got this snuck in, and like I say, we'll get everything moved across. It's going to be a little bit busy now though, so we're going to get pushing on and see what we can do here. But yeah, it's nice to see that we've been afforded a little bit of extra sunlight, really, more than we thought. Makes everything just a little bit easier. Oh, we've missed a bit. Go back there. It certainly eases some of the logistical headaches that I was facing, let's put it that way. There we go. Lovely stuff. So with that in mind, we're going to go and just take this over towards the header trailer, get out of the way for now. We do have a little bit left in the tank, but David's probably going to have to empty first. So we're going to get pushing on here, and we'll come back to you later in the week, actually, I think, when we have a little bit more of update really to go at, and we'll probably have to do a little bit of office work as well, just to get our field planning up to date. But until that time, thank you very much for watching. As always, I have been Simulation for the Nation. You have been fantastic. If you do have any questions or any feedback, then please don't forget to drop a comment down below, hit the thumbs up button or that thumbs down if you haven't enjoyed it. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and until we meet up again, stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, but most importantly, happy farming.